Hello. Hey folks, EP here. Figured I'd come at you live. There's so much lost in translation sometimes when you're writing things. And so I figured I'd talk to you and get an opportunity to hear a little bit from you. There's so much going on. And really, there's always so much going on. And the idea of getting quiet, hey Nancy, the idea of getting quiet and being peaceful, if you will, is not from quieting the world outside of you. See, we desperately, hey Julie, hi Lisa, we desperately want. It's a real feeling too. I mean, it's so like they all are. It's so encompassing, this idea we have inside of us, this actual experience that if the world would shut the fuck up, if other people would just kind of fall in line with whatever it is you're wanting them to do, it could be in any way, whether it's viruses and politics, or it's family stuff or business, or even if it's sports or hobbies, whatever it is that you're thinking needs to be shifted so you won't feel what you're feeling inside of you, is ultimately a lie. See, people who want to change things in the world to get kind of a peace or a quiet inside of us, we're people that don't know how to quiet ourselves. That's why we're going to the world. Because we keep getting pulled into it from our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our skin, our tongue. It pulls us in, and then we react because we don't know how to channel what stimulus we're getting. So it feels like if we change the stimulus, then we'll be changed. So let's address that for 1 second. If you change the exterior stimulus in any way, shape, or form, you will indeed have an interior response to that might be favorable to you, but it's only going to last a short amount of time. It has an expiration date that ain't long whatsoever, because the world's constantly changing and shifting. So even if everyone did shut the fuck up, or everybody voted the way you want them to vote, or everybody was healthy, or whatever it is that you're wanting, or you get the right calls from the referees, from your sports teams, or the school system is changing, or you're getting health, whatever it is that you want to change because there's a discomfort that you feel is coming from that, ultimately, once that changes, you will feel a relief. But the same thing that creates discomfort that's within you hasn't changed. You haven't gotten a hold of that. So actually, if the world changes to your liking, it makes you worse, not better. Because if it starts to change, you'll keep crutching on those changes that are happening, and you'll believe it's those changes that are making you feel okay. So that whole scenario is really the human condition. What's up, Kimberly? Kimberly heard some of this in class today. This is why I'm actually doing this. So that's one part of it. Those of us that want to make changes externally, it's really because we have internal responses to those things that are making us uncomfortable, and that's what we need to change. We start to get a handle of ourselves. You won't be fucking with the world. You'll observe it. You'll watch it like you're watching a TV show or a movie, and there'll be a comedy, there'll be a tragedy, there'll be a drama, but just like a movie, you get done and you go, that was great. You might be crying your eyes out, but it doesn't really affect you. What's up, Bo? The second part of this is same philosophy. Let's shift the paradigm a little bit. My heart goes out to everyone right now in terms of how difficult it is to find truth in the world, right? There is so little said that is of any truth whatsoever, especially right now. You have a virus that is real, but the numbers, truly real numbers and etc., and it could expand, it could get worse, but it's nowhere and nothing near the end. And why people buy tons of toilet paper when there's a virus. I mean, the virus doesn't give you horrible diarrhea. People are just going fucking insane. And all the stuff that's going on, what's up, Kaufman? All the stuff that's going on in politics, all of this stuff is being fed from people's preferences, people's fears, people's insecurities, people's fantasies, people's nightmares. So all this information is going out, and we're trying to find the truth. Some of us, many people aren't. We just settle for whatever we read, and we don't really question. We don't know how to question. We haven't been trained to think. But what I'm getting at is the reason why we're grasping at straws and we're even talking about like trust and getting pissed off at fake news and bullshit and whatever, and not even knowing what's fake and what's real, is because we're not in touch with our own truth. We listen to our own bullshit every day, and you believe your own bullshit to a massive degree. You, meaning anyone who's watching this and will ever watch it, including me, listens to so much rhetoric that is fake news in our own heads, that how is it possible then to not listen to fake news or be fucked up by news outside of our own head? Inside the news every day. It's not news. It's either good news or bad news. It's happy news or sad news. News supposedly is just information. It's like, that's information. I either take it or I leave it. But I'm not quantifying or qualifying it, because that would make me insane. So if you're not able to grab a hold of yourself and find a truth within you and understand what's your own fake news and how you react to that, then of course you're going to get really caught up in fake news outside of you, because you won't know how to differentiate, and you will do the same thing with the external noise as you do with the internal noise. The moment you grab a semblance of groundedness, of sanity, of intelligence within you that's stable, that bit will help you sift through your own shit. And when you're looking out in the world, you get on Facebook, you even decide to watch the news or whatever it is you're doing, you'll laugh. You'll have a good time with seeing the insanity of humanity. It won't move you to a place of terror or sadness or disappointment. And it won't move you to a place of victories or joy or some kind of satisfaction, because you'll understand what's going on out there. And all that it is it's a collection of all us individuals who have not gotten a hold of our internal truth, who are easily swayed and moved by our own messaging inside of us, that we're now externalizing all of that on social media, and we're all sifting through it and reading that shit. And the part that is damaging when you're not grounded in a foundation within yourself is when you start sifting through that stuff, it does drive you crazy. You can't help but to be affected by it. So it's really important right now that we make a stand. One of the stands can be, and I hope the less people watch this or see this, the better, in terms of if you need to make a choice to just refrain, thank you, from social media or the news, because there's so much madness in it right now that when you don't have a foundation and understand what it is, you'll be impacted by it. You'll be affected by it. And then the problem is, the virus that we don't want to address is the virus that we spread every day to one another. And it's the virus of negativity. I mean, Corona? What are you talking about? So you have a cold for a few days, and some people with a weak immune system are going to die of the flu anyway. They would have died from something anyways. That's not what's killing them. And what's really killing us is addiction, attachment, and egoistic stances in the world that create inferiority and superiority complexes. What's killing us is you will be hard-pressed to find a single human being that dedicated his or her life to understanding what it means to be human and how to execute on a daily basis a human life. And if you don't know that shit, you are infecting people every fucking day with your neurosis. And who the fuck wants to be infected by that? That's killing humanity. There is no virus that can touch us that's even close to that. And that shit's been going on every single day since the dawn of humanity. And still, no one is addressing the epidemic of attachment, of addiction, of codependence, which leads to depression and anxiety, which leads to panic attacks and neuroses, fears and phobias. It's unbelievable. And then those same people with all that shit are the ones that are giving us information about things. They're ones that are, hell, leading our country. It's in the cancers that kill, in the heart diseases that kill. How many people are making choices every day to really be healthier for things that have killed more than this virus will ever kill? No one's quarantined. No one's canceling shit because they're eating like shit and gonna have a fucking heart disease. And don't tell me that's not catchable, because it is. Because we're so easily fucking influenced by everybody else that you will catch cancer from someone, because you'll lead the same stupid fucking life that creates cancer as the next person, because that's your role model and you don't know any different. You'll eat the same things, drink the same things, process your fears, process your excitement, process the world in the same way the same people who process their world, who gives them strokes and heart attacks, do. And that will affect you and impact you, and you'll live the same life as your predecessors. Nobody's fucking different. There's not a single person different. That's the virus. There's not one person in this world that's different really from anyone else. So we've all caught the same bug, and you want to talk about something that's, please. So gain a perspective from this. This is time. In these kind of times, these are awesome for a seeker, because they make you have to sit down and look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I going to do right now? How am I going to lead myself through everything I'm seeing and hearing? How am I going to respond to all these things around me? And I can't follow the fucking herd. I can no longer follow the fucking herd at all. Here's the best example I can give you, and this will blow your fucking mind. Stay tuned to this right now, even if you're just checking in for 1 second, because this will blow your mind as it has mine. I live in Tarzana, California. There's a lot of wealth around this area. I live a couple blocks away from a Whole Foods complex that's a very high-end shopping complex. For the 4 years that this has been open, and I've never taped it because I feel like if I start taping these things, I'm going to be drawn into them too much myself just by taking the time to do this. So if I was really some social media guy, I'd probably have a video for you to back this up and me in it and all this shit. And sorry guys, I just don't do that. I draw the line there. But you have to go. If anyone in California watching this, I beg, any day of the week. It happens 7 days a week and all day. Sometimes more in the day than others, depending on how busy it is. But come and do this so you can once and for all understand the importance of you becoming self-sufficient, learning how to be quiet within yourself, and learning how to find truth within yourself and not looking anywhere else. Here's what happens at this Whole Foods complex. You park underground. There is one lane going down to park with a gate that opens. You take your ticket, and it's like anything else. And there's 2 lanes when you exit that both have gates, and you put your ticket in, and it's free, and it's great, whatever. For the 4 years this place has been open, or 5, or whatever the hell it's been, 6, 7, there literally is a line to get out of this parking garage, because nobody uses the lane on the right. It's open It's sitting there. There's huge signs that say open. There's huge arrows. There's an arrow in front right between each lane that has 2 arrows that show you can use 2 lanes. And every time, 70 times in 5 years at least, I've had to get out of my car, walk to the cars in the front of the line to start to direct these people to use the right fucking exit lane. It's open. Just the right fucking lane that's staring in your face. You can't miss it. But because the person in front just went straight, I guess everyone else goes straight. And no one's thinking. Now, I'm telling you this because it's happening in Tarzana, where there's so much dough, there's so much wealth, and there's so many colors. There's every shade of white, black, brown, red, yellow, I don't know, any color you want, any religion. This is the best place to sit down and say, this is not middle America. This is the representation of massive suburbia on every level, where people are educated, where people have dough, where people go out and they work and they function and there's dynamic action in the day, and these motherfuckers cannot get out of a Whole Foods parking lot. They had to hire parking attendants that sit there just to tell people use this lane, because people can't fucking wrap their head around seeing an open space and using it. I'm not saying these people have terrible relationships, aren't good parents, don't make great careers for themselves, but on the most basic level, this is what I'm saying, human beings on whole just blindly follow other human beings and have never really developed a thought pattern that allows them to survey the rest of the world and then make decisions according to their intellectual prowess. That's what needs to happen. And instead, you either have a few people that are rebels and say, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way, and they ignore everybody, including logic and reason, and just do things different to do things different and be a rebel. Or you have a pack of fucking sheep all over the place. And it's insane. I'm telling you. The line, it's out. You can't get out of your parking spot because somebody refuses to just use the second lane to exit. I've seen this in movie theaters. I've seen this at airports. I've seen this at restaurants. I've seen this all over, that people just walk around with blinders and they see the first thing in front of them. They don't think about anything else. They don't ask questions. They don't reflect, don't contemplate, from the deepest things to the most mundane. This is the world we live in. It's not bad. I'm not better. I'm not worse. I'm not saying any of that. It's just the way it is. And knowing that, how do you want to be? That's the question. How do you want to be? How do you want to live? Now, you only die once. Why are you worried about it every single day? Why are you so up in arms about it? You know that there's not a single person that can run this country that can make your life or break your life. It simply won't happen. If we all had health insurance and it cost nobody, if God came down and just gave it to us, we'd still be bitching about things. We would still be fighting with each other. If God said, here's a surprise, I'm going to give you all health insurance for free, it's not going to, no taxes, no nothing, we would argue about, I don't know, feels kind of hokey to me, too good to be true. No, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen with our whole economy if it's free? What's going to happen? We'll always find a way. Whether it's a blessing, we'll find a way to create it into a curse. If it's a curse, we'll find a way to make it into a blessing. But we'll never be able to just consistently stay at a place where we understand there's no blessings, there's no curses, there's no good days, there's no bad days. That's something that's manufactured in our own minds. And that kind of thinking has us leading a life of an animal, not a human being. A human being doesn't have to respond and react to the mind's whims and fancies. And if you do, you're no better than an animal. So, look, this isn't a plug for anything. This isn't a sales pitch for anything. This is just hopefully something you can think about for a little bit in your day to ask this question. What kind do I want to be a human? What does that really entail? Am I tired of waiting for good news and waiting for bad news? Am I tired of constantly reacting to everything I'm seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, and smelling? Is there a different way to live? And the answer is yes, there is a different way to live. But in order to live that life, you've got to pull yourself out of this whole paradigm that we're in. It's a different world. And you can't do it alone. It takes help. It takes mentoring. It takes community. But you can start by making a choice to finding that. You can start by making a choice every time you hear something today. Just say to yourself, is that so? Every time you see something, your mind's about to tell you what it is you're seeing. Is that so? Every single time today that you even smell something, ooh, that smells like shit. Who shit their pants? Nope. Smell it. You don't like it? Is that so? You smell something. Oh, that's delicious. Nope. Is that so? You start to take command over your own senses, and you will start to live a life of someone who's empowered. And someone who's empowered, all this self-help talk and bullshit, it's so simple. Someone who's empowered, other people's lives do not have an impact on theirs in the sense of nobody else's actions throw us off our target. They don't boot us out of our lane. No one else's feelings, no one else's opinions. Whatever's going on in the world to an empowered person has no impact other than the necessary adjustments they have to make on their life because of it. For instance, there's a natural disaster that happens in the neighborhood, and so trees fall in the yard and you can't get to your garage. So you take a different route because you have to. I'm saying internally, nothing's different. Our economy goes to shit. You have to downsize your house. You got to sell your car. You go into debt. You have to do all these things you don't want to do, but it's what has to happen if that something like that really happened. And it's happened before, but it doesn't change you. Your response to it is, I'll do what I have to do to make the adjustments because I can't afford these things. But there's no other response. It doesn't tarnish any bit of peace or happiness you have. That's an empowered person. There's a birth, you're the same person. There's a death, you're the same person. The right side wins, you're the same person. The left side wins, there's the same person. Everybody's never been so healthy, you're the same person. There's viruses that are going to kill you, you're the same fucking person. Now, none of us watching that is that person. I'm not that person. What I'm saying is, are you on track? Are you even doing any work at all to become that person? Because if you're not even working on becoming that person, the person you'll be is a person who's constantly affected day in and day out by anything and everything that's happening within you and around you. And that person is called a slave. And that's what I'm saying. Humanity is slaves to our own mind, and slaves, that means to everyone else's. When you have control of your own mind, it doesn't matter what everybody's minds are doing. You're not bothered by it. So to wrap it around is that's why you have to empower yourself. Because if you aren't at peace inside, if there's not quiet inside, if there's not a groundedness in your own truth inside of you, you will get freaked out by what's happening outside of you, as well as what's happening inside of you. It just goes back and forth. You might be okay inside, but then something outside happens, fucks you up inside. Everything outside of you might be fine, but you're feeling off, so you're fucked up, and that triggers you. And it's always something. And then the whole human being is dedicating their life to living in a way that tries to avert anything we might not like and is uncomfortable or hurts us, and holding on to everything that we like. That kind of living is just fucking awful. It's exhausting. There's a different kind of living. And you owe it to yourself and the people you'll come in contact with. Everyone you come in contact with the rest of your life, everyone will be impacted by whether or not you take care of yourself or you don't. So if you really want to do something for this world, if you really want to create a change, if you really want to stop spreading disease, aside from washing your fucking hands once in a while, wash your fucking mind out. Grow and develop your intellect. And lift yourself to your highest heights. And you will change the world and everyone you meet in it. That's your world. Your world is only the people that are in it and the people that will be in it. Beyond that, it's a world. Your world will change when you change. It was great checking in. It's been a minute. You guys know how to get a hold of me always. And I always love chatting. I think it's time we stick together right now. We need to be around because since we're not so evolved, we need to be around more like-minded people because we're easily influenced. And when you're easily influenced, you at least know that. Then I got to put myself around safe people and safe places. So if I'm going to be influenced, it's in a way that's according to who and what I really am and want to be. More of, that is. So if you can make it, to a phone and call, if you can send an email, if you want to get to a class, great. If you want to catch up on the road, awesome. We have Mammoth Yoga Festival coming up. We have Sedona Yoga Festival coming this weekend. Would love to see you there. We're doing an incredible trip to Tulum, June 27th through July 5th and July 5th through July 11th. This is such an important time to pull ourselves together and to network. I will help you in any way. Hey, Bo, yes, we do need to connect. And I saw your post today. And hang in there, brother. And I'm with you, man. Things aren't what they appear to be always outside of us. So if they look great, is that so? And if they look shitty, is that so? We need to really, really, really be focusing on staying on our own lanes and growing ourselves right now. And then you want to go into quarantine. We all should be fucking quarantined. You should only be hanging out with people who don't have the disease you don't want to catch. And it ain't corona. It's attachment. It's fucking addiction that leads to depression. It's codependence that leads to fucking insanity and crazy relationships. We have incredible fears. And that attachment, think about what that happens. If you're attached to anything, that means what you'll do to hang on to that will drive you more crazy than what you think losing it will do. Whether it's a person, place, or thing. So you want to be quarantined, or you think people need to be quarantined, you're 100% right. We're infecting each other every day. So huddle up with the people that are safe and loving and kind, and don't let anybody fucking break that circle. And that, my friends, will help us get back on track and get into a place individually and within our small networks where there's semblances of sanity. You just got to get in touch with your truth and fight to hold it and live it. And you won't care about any lies that are outside of you. But if we keep lying to ourselves and believing our own shit, we're going to get eaten alive out there. And if we can't quiet our own noise internally, you'll be desperate to shut the world up in a way that will never happen. And it will leave you desperate and frustrated and feeling like a victim when everyone has the capacity to be empowered. Take it easy, everybody. Much love, much love. And what's up, Tracy, Nicole? Good to see you. It's great running into you a while back. Hi, Susie. What's up, Johnny? Have a good one, you guys.